I know I keep on forgetting to upload videos, but nevertheless, I got around to another ST video eventually. It's not the one I intended to do. I mean, that particular platformer is longer than what I thought it was gonna be, so unfortunately it's taken longer to beat. But for the moment, let's do a quick sports game. Final Blow was a Taito 1988 arcade fighting game which sees you take control of a boxer as he tries to win the championship by beating all contenders. It was later ported to the Mega Drive, Amiga, Commodore 64, FM Towns, wherever that is, and of course the Atari ST. This ST build was developed/published by Sales Curve and Storm. My first actual experience of this game was the Mega Drive version, where they actually rebranded it as James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing. I remember back in the day the visuals being pretty good for the time, but the gameplay was kind of average. It was the real button basher. Final Blow is a 1 to 2 player boxing game. Like most boxing games, it requires you to beat your opponent into the canvas or win on a points decision. Being that this was originally an arcade game, it doesn't quite have the ruling of a real thing, with each round lasting only 60 seconds, and there only being 3 rounds in a bout. You can select from 1 of 10 different boxers. However, disappointingly, there doesn't seem to be any real difference between each person that I noticed, so they're pretty much just alternate skins for your character. It would have been nice to have different power, speed or moves for each fighter, if just to add a little bit of variety to the action. Graphically, the game does look very similar to the arcade original with its big sprites and good animation. Overall, the boxers and the referee are animated really well. It's not often you see large sprites like this on the ST. Obviously, being an arcade port, there have been cutbacks with stuff like the crowd animation and the celebration scenes at the end of the fight all missing, but these aren't really necessary to the gameplay, so it's not that concerning that these have been cut. There's also a little bit of sample speech from the promoter that is completely dropped, but the stuff we get from the referee seems to be there and it's clear and it's good quality. Control wise, you use the joystick to move your boxer left or right, with the fire button handling punches. Now there are 6 types of punches that you can pull off, 3 for each hand. It can either be a low, medium or high punch based on the direction that you have your joystick pointed at. Ideally, you prefer to have each punch mapped to an individual button, but overall this does work quite well. I mean, the best strategy, particularly for the later levels, is to vary up your punches and switch arms regularly, so you have to really get used to this if you want to be good at it. Arcade games are meant to be difficult in order for the player to pump more coins into the cabinet, and the same applies here. I've never been able to beat this one. I'm going to assume there's 9 rounds given that there are 10 playable characters, but I don't ever see myself beating it. I like playing Final Blow, but it's definitely one of those titles that can only be played in short bursts, because ultimately it can feel a little bit shallow at times. But nevertheless, let's get on with this and I'll begin the playthrough.
3, fight! Three, fight! One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, out! One, fight! Fight! Three,